Let's face it, we are not the nicest guys, we are not the most good looking, we're definitely not the most skilled or the most clever. But if we compare with most of the people, it emerges that we are a little bit more clever, more skilled, we understand things a little bit better than the others. Examples. Our political party may not be perfect, but the others. That football player who missed that ball, how could he? I could have played better than him if I was there. Some days I feel dizzy. My doctor, who studied medicine for 12 years, says I have nothing, it's just stress. But I have read on the internet this, so he must be wrong. Okay, you get the point. What was happening here is a phenomena called self-deception. As said in 1976 by biologist Robert Trivers, we dupe ourselves in order to deceive others, creating social advantage. 40 years later, Trivers brought his theory into science with an experiment. Trivers asked 306 participants online to write about this fictitious character, named Mark. To some participants was given the task to convince others that Mark was a good person. To others, Mark was to be described as a despicable one. Trivers said he was given rewards to the best descriptions, which were rated by the community at a later time. To gather information about Mark, a long video was given to the participants to see. They could watch the entire video or stop it at any moment. For some, the first part of the video was Mark being represented as a good person, but worse and worse as the video goes on. To others, Mark was initially a bad guy who slowly becomes a good guy. The participants made these descriptions, community rated them, and then the results. First, as soon as the people received enough information to describe Mark the way they had to, they were stopping the video. What this tells us is practically, as soon as I get enough information to convince myself, I no longer need more informations. In other words, we self-deceive, telling ourselves that the information we have about someone or something are sufficient to understand the whole thing, person, matter, science. No wonder that, number 2, the description made by people who received the information they needed immediately were much more effective and higher rated than the others. By doing this deception, we are not necessarily being bad humans. As William von Hippel says, if you need to convince someone, if your career or social success depends heavily on persuasion, then the first people you have to convince is yourself. Because if we manage to convince ourselves, we then are more efficient on convincing the others, even if it involves elaborating and gathering information with partiality. So, the next time we will see that player messing up, or we will judge an happening knowing only a percentage of what happened, we shall consider this. First, we would have never be able to reach that player's level, and that specific shot in that situation, with the public booing on you, with the pressure of the moment and everything, yes, you would have missed it. And second, if we know 10% of a topic, it's not like we know nothing, but we know 10%.